on, Foxy. It's your birthday. Not for real, just for play. This is Cree Summer, and Moana Nui will be right back.
Welcome everyone back to the Moana Nui Podcast. We're here at Dreamhack Atlanta, and we are here with the team from 1000 Dream Fun and also Broadcast Her Initiative. Can you introduce both of yourselves and your connection with Broadcast Her Initiative?
Yes, hi. My name is Chelsea Larsoul. I am the programs manager at 1000 Dreams Fun. Broadcast Her is one of the programs that we run amongst many others, but it is our program focused on funding and providing mentorship for women and femmes in the gaming and esports space.
I'm Hockey Jetty. I stream on Twitch. I have actually helped the Women's Guild raise $50,000 for the Broadcast Her Initiative and 1000 Dreams Fund. So that's kind of how I know them. There are so many resources for women and femme. It's amazing.
Awesome. So for those that are getting introduced to Broadcast Her Initiative, can you tell us a little bit about it and how is it connecting to the gaming community?
You can start, I think, and then I can bounce off of however like.
Absolutely. So the Broadcast Her Initiative, as I mentioned, is our programming solely focused in the gaming and esports space and really elevating the platform for women and femmes who are extremely underrepresented in that space. We do that through a couple of different models and really starts with funding. One of the essential things with everything and anything makes the world go round, right? But certainly in breaking into this space. And so we will do things that will fund your equipment. We will do things that will fund you actually coming here to something like Dreamhack or a TwitchCon, whatever that looks like for your platform. And then we also go on the mentorship side to connect you with other people who are either doing something that you hope to do in the future, who are maybe at your same level, and just helping you create a community. We have a Discord chat where, you all stay very connected on. I'm horrible on Discord, that's why we're laughing. But the mentorship opportunity to also shadow with someone who has the current job that you're maybe hoping to do in the future. And so between those two pieces, again, our goal is really to help connect you and then uplift you to hopefully support what you want to do in the future and bring more women and femmes to the table within gaming and esports.
Yeah. I would definitely, so this last TwitchCon, which was like 2 weeks ago, they funded 20 women and femme to go. And I know several of them that literally said they would not have been able to go at all. And it was their first TwitchCon, and so they were able to go. So that was really amazing. And I was on the main stage earlier for something, and I got to actually see the fellow shadowing the main stage operator. And I was like, oh, hey, what are you guys doing back there? And they're like, we're doing our fellowship, we're shadowing. I was like, oh, that's so cool. So they're getting a lot of cool exposure here that I, as someone who knows about this program, didn't even know they were getting. And it's been really, really cool to see. And yeah, there's just a lot of support here. I know some people who got the grant for the equipment and they're like, oh, it really helped them get to that next level with their streaming or content creation, whatever it was for. Like, genuinely, like, as a person who really tries to help women and femme grow for the exact reasons of that, there's not a lot of us here. It's been really, really amazing to see everything. I don't know if you talked about it, but they're working on like a documentary right now that's going to show what it's like to be a woman in femme here. And they told me that, and I was like, oh my God, we got to get more funds for you guys to like get that project done, because so many times men are like, well, why is it different or more difficult for women and femmes? And like, just having a visual will help so many people.
I want to just share a little bit more about that documentary. So it's actually being filmed and produced by a woman graduating from USC's School of Film. And so we are really we're telling the story of women in underrepresented spaces through the lens of our cadetship and partnership with Riot Games out in Dublin. We've sent 3 women that way for a 3-month fellowship, all paid for, for them to learn and, again, gain knowledge, make connections, things like that. But the documentary is going to kind of track their journey, learn from them, hear from them, but it's also being done on the back end from another woman. And so it's kind of a full circle, if you will, on that. Because, yes, underrepresentation in gaming and esports, but we're talking about that across the board everywhere. And so we're looking to uplift those voices and, put a spotlight, add a platform there.
Awesome. So with the 1,000 Dreams Fund, how did that become an initiative within Broadcast Her Initiative, and how has that connected with Dreamhack and conventions like this?
Yeah, absolutely. So 1,000 Dreams Fund started 8 years ago with our core scholarship program, which was called the 1,000 Dreams Scholarship Fund. And that was really focused on funding women and femmes in their educational pursuits. And it was basically, the goal was to fund anything outside of tuition. There's lots of scholarships to help you pay for your tuition. There's a lot less out there that's helping you pay for something like going to study abroad, or maybe, tools and things for an art class that you're taking, whatever that might look like specifically for you. And so that was really the initial goal. We then have, since then expanded greatly into a lot of different spaces. We have scholarships that are specifically just for women pursuing degrees in tech. We have scholarships that are specific for women pursuing degrees in healthcare, and so forth. Our Broadcast Her initiative really came about because we saw yet another space where there's no lack of interest, but a huge need to, again, give women a platform, give femmes a platform within this space, especially women and femmes who are of color. We across the board, that is an issue, but I think especially in that specific demographic. And so we saw a hole, essentially, a gap that we wanted to fill, and thought that we could add support for, both on that funding and mentorship platform. And so there birthed the Broadcast Her initiative.
Oh, very nice. So with esports, we see very few women on these esports teams. How can Broadcast Her initiative and 1,000 Dreams Fund help make esports more inclusive, both for women, but also people of color, indigenous people, Native Hawaiian people, a lot of the different minorities and nationalities that we typically don't see?
Yeah. So I think, I'm going to let you. This is yours.
I do have an answer to that.
I knew you did.
I was like, oh, give me that mic, Chelsea.
But I think the first thing that I'll say, and then I'm going to pass it over, is that it starts with community, right? And it starts with us having conversations with one another. It starts with us having conversations like this about the issue in and of itself. And that's something that has been a core piece of the mission and the work that we're doing at 1,000 Dreams Fund. But I do. Yeah, I know you have the answer.
Oh my God. First off, this documentary that you guys are working on is going to be huge, because the amount of times that I get told that we have it easier because we're women, because guys just want to watch us because we're pretty, it's not true. Actually, it's quite the opposite.
Yes.
So that I think is really going to help. Esports specifically, I grew up playing COD. the amount of times that I have been told to get my butt back in the kitchen and make me a sandwich is, I'd be a millionaire if I got $1 every single time. So I think that type of documentary is really going to show and hopefully show like, hey, this is what women are dealing with and this is why it's hard for them. But community is huge. Twitch has recently done guilds and I'm in the women's guild, and just having that community, like I didn't realize more than half of the stuff that you could be doing on Twitch and the way that you could grow in this industry until I got in that guild. And there are people in the guild who are working in esports and whatnot. I am not in that anymore. I do horror games personally, but there are a lot that are working towards that. Also, like just funding the equipment helps them get that get to that level that they can get the exposure to then get into esports. There is just so much, like I'm just volunteering my time to be here. I'm not like, I don't get a grant or anything, but because of how much it helps other women, like I was like, yes, I will come and help you guys, because it is just like it helps in so many ways. I could go on for hours, I promise you. But yes, community is huge.
And I think that, like, in respect to that community, as you mentioned, the Twitch Women's Guild, like, that is a community we're deeply connected with, and that we do a lot of different types of fundraising events with, and other, mentorship opportunities, things like that. And so part of our mission, part of what we're doing with Broadcast Her, are making those connections for a lot of women and femmes, especially who are getting started, who wouldn't, they don't have a network in this space necessarily. And so we're plugged into a wonderful place, wonderful community like the Twitch Women's Guild, and we're able to help, build those connections for the students that we're serving.
I have another one.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
There's the summit you guys do.
Yes, our Broadcast Her Summit.
They do a Broadcast Her Summit. Oh my gosh, the information that you get from that, it's free to attend online. Yes, okay, I was like, correct me. It's free online, and you can get all this information, because when you're first coming into streaming, you're like, where do I even start?
Yes.
And, streaming and esports kind of go a lot hand in hand, that's why I'm referencing that, but other things as well, like where do I even start? And they have that, that Broadcast Her Summit. I was so excited, just to see that existed, because in my real world job, we do something similar to that, and it's been so helpful. And so I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. So that's another resource that they do that is just information and knowledge is so helpful to know where you can go. So yeah.
Perfect. So with your organization, and of course esports becoming more globally recognized, how is your organization helping to demystify the misconceived notions that gaming is for boys? You can't do anything with content creation. You can't do anything with esports. How, with your organization and also really showing what esports can do, how we can change the narrative that a lot of people have for women in these areas?
From my perspective at least, the people they're funding and the projects they're funding are not just, the stereotypical, let's buy a new camera, right? There's a lot of if you pitch them a unique idea, they're like, oh, that's really cool, let's fund that. They're not always just all right, let's do the same old, which is great to also do equipment. That's not bad. It's very important, but also they really help drive initiatives that are more unique to get cooler ideas out there. So I guess to help destigmatize that, that's what I can think of. I feel like everything else we've kind of noted on.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I would add is we have wonderful partners like the Dreamhack team who has brought us here to be able to, again, spread this word and talk to people. We're part of this quest, which has brought a lot of people who weren't necessarily coming to our booth, right?
Yes.
But it's enabled us to talk to them, women, men, femmes, everything in between, non-binary people, and allowed us to again, just have these conversations, these discussions, which I think for anything, but especially when we're talking about demystifying, destigmatizing is like the very first step. We all have something in common, and it just takes a little bit of conversation, and that's the first thing we're doing. The other thing I'll add is that, you know, with the Broadcast Her initiative, we're looking to fund and mentor women and femmes who are doing things across the board. It's not just people who want to be streamers. It's people who want to be in the back end and production. It's people who want to be at the camera and everything in between. And so I think that's also a really big part, is like we're looking at so many different layers, at so many different levels of like what you can do within this industry, because it doesn't, you know, as wonderful, we love our streamers, we love them, but it's not the only thing, right? And so I think it's important to offer opportunities outside of maybe what is at the forefront, if you will.
Yes.
On that, I do have a note. So I am a streamer, but I never thought of, like, until the conversations with this, of meeting 1,000 Dream Funds, like I never thought of like, oh, being in esports, but not doing the esport. Like, you're in the background, and like, once like they were like, yeah, you can do like a fellowship and learn about all the stuff in the background like people do. I'm like, wait, what? You can what?
Exactly.
That's so cool. Like, I do have a job that I love, so I haven't done it, but so cool. And the conversations in general about every topic can help bring, like, that's, as you said, it's the first step. Like, if you don't know there's a problem and you don't talk about it, you're not going to know there is a problem.
Yes.
And that is like just in general life anyways. And so conversation started for sure. But
very nice. So with both the initiative and the 1,000 Dream Fund, it is helping to kind of bridge that gap for women, that it may be financials or things like that. How can we connect within the communities that are more marginalized to have them be aware of your organization and bring them into the careers of content creation, gaming, and esports?
Yeah, so I mean, right, this educational piece, right, is super important. So as you were mentioning, our Broadcast Her Summit is really like one of those, part of what we do is provide resources, right? We're providing resources, we're providing connections, we're providing funding. And I think between those three steps, we're really able to like unlock something for women and femmes in a space, but who that, you know, we're really underrepresented in, but also in a space that like maybe because of that, we just don't have the knowledge. And so things like our summit, even like just going on our website, like as basic and like, you know, easy as that is to do, but it is to educate you, and we have a lot of information there to share with you to help you like better understand this specific space and like maybe where you can fit in, maybe where you want to explore. And so I think there's that piece, and I also think back to, as I was saying earlier, the community, right?
Yes.
We're connecting you with other women and femmes who are also, you know, maybe at different stages than you are, but I think to be connected with one another so that you can have these conversations about, you know, this was a really tough day because of XYZ, or I'm really trying to break into this space and I don't really understand like who I should be talking to, what kind of conventions I should be attending to like do that. And so again, this are just as basic as our Discord community, which, you know, anyone is welcome to join if they sign up on our newsletter. You know, that you are being connected with people who not just are going to, but want to help you. And I think that's one of the like amazing things about this community is like within our Broadcast Her grouping, like people want to help people get ahead, other women's and femme get ahead. And so if I have something that I can share that's going to help you get to the next level in your career pursuits and your pursuit as a streamer, as a, you know, production assistant, whatever that looks like, I want to and I'm going to. And I think that's a big part of that community.
And I think the biggest thing that we, especially, like I feel like if you work in the background, it's not as prevalent, but as streamers, you always think you're against each other. But honestly, if I see a woman or a femme breaking that glass ceiling, guess what? Once one taps through, it's a lot easier for another to tap through. So I just think that community is huge, and I'm probably like, you know, I know a lot, but I still don't at the same time. And anytime someone wants to ask me, regardless of being a femme or not, I'm like, absolutely, I will help you. Like, I think knowledge is so important. I'll pass it along. And you just got to find those people and, you know, hopefully be that person in the future, right? And just work with that. I think, community is definitely,
And sorry, I just want to add one more thing, but specific to our BIPOC, Indigenous community, etc. Like, I think that one of the things that we work really hard at as an organization is to go meet women in the places that they are at, women and femmes in places they're at. Because sometimes it takes someone reaching out to you to like bring you in, right? And it's not something, especially when we're talking about a student in high school, where like, you know, I think about myself in high school and it's like, I'm not seeking out too many opportunities. I was like going to class, making sure I'm doing all those good things, but like, you don't necessarily think to like seek out something like this or a community like this. And so I do think we do a lot of outreach, you know, as part of our general work is getting these opportunities out to those spaces, and again, meeting these women and femmes where they are at. So I think, you know, that helps, and then we connect with wonderful people like you to be able to spread that word, spread that mission, and hopefully bring more of BIPOC, Indigenous women into the fold.
Awesome. Now, of course, the organization like yours and all the things you're doing, funding is critical. So for the people that are watching, if their company or even individually would like to support this organization, how can they donate or sponsor and be a part to help make these things happen?
Absolutely. So for individuals looking to donate, you can visit our website, 1000 Dreams Fund at, oh my gosh, I'm giving you the email. It's
like Chelsea?
No, 1000dreamsfund.org. We are at 1000 Dreams Fund across all socials. We're on TikTok, X, Facebook, Instagram. I probably missed some, but at 1000 Dreams Fund on all of them. And you'll see there's a button that says give. You can learn all the different ways that you can give, from crypto to DAF giving to just a regular donation with your card. We have a bunch of different ways that you can get involved there. For those at a company that might be interested in a larger donation, partnership, sponsorship, that is really how we began this mission from the start. Our strategic partnerships are a huge part of how we are enabled to come to things like this and fund women and femmes in these various spaces. And so you can reach us at development@1000dreamsfund.org. You can talk more about what that partnership model looks like. But we are always looking for new partners. We want to promote you to our student community as much as we want to receive your resources to help grow that student community. So
awesome.
We appreciate any level of support, and we really appreciate you chatting with us today.
Yes.
I was going to add one thing. I mean, don't contact me, but if you are like a streamer and you're like, I want to do a charity stream for them, like, yes, definitely Twitter, or if you join their Discord. I think Kayla usually helps a lot more with that, so you'll probably talk with Kayla. She's amazing. I've met her in person. She is an amazing human being, just saying. But they are really great to work with for charity streaming as well. So, you know,
we have a lot of options, and we're happy.
Yes.
We're going to take them in all forms.
Yeah. Seriously, great initiative. Do it.
Okay. And then on a different level of outside of monetary donations, is there opportunity for women in these fields and careers to mentor and also help these women as they're trying to go into the different fields of content creation, gaming, esports, production, and so much more?
Absolutely, and I'm so glad you asked that question. So we have our Broadcast Her initiative, and then we have another that is called our Mentor Her initiative. And our Mentor Her initiative is year-round. We have an opportunity, again, right on our website for mentors and for mentees to sign up. They're two different forms, but you essentially fill out a form. You tell us who you are, what you do, if you're a student or looking for mentorship, who you are, what it is that you are hoping to do, interested in doing, and we use those forms to pair our mentees with mentors for a one-time 60-minute virtual mentoring session. So you can be anywhere in the world, essentially. We got to work on some time zone things, of course, yes. But essentially from the comfort of your home or wherever you may be, for a really impactful hour that's going to connect you with someone who is doing something in the field that you're interested in, maybe has the exact job that you are interested in pursuing in the future, whatever that looks like specifically for you. But you can sign up as a mentor to offer that to people for those who are looking to give back, and as someone who needs to be mentored, who's looking to, again, grow their network at any stage, really, that you find yourself. So our mentor initiative, you can, again, get on our website, find out more about it, but the sign-ups for both mentors and mentees are open year-round.
All right, awesome.
I just want to note on mentors and mentorships, don't be afraid to do them, because I understand as a person who didn't understand what mentors and mentorships were, even in my other job. I was always scared. I was I don't even know what to do with them. You have questions about the industry, they'll match you with people to help with that. Even if it's hey, I don't know how to start streaming. I don't know how to even start doing,
What is Twitch?
Yeah, what is Twitch? Sheesh. I mean, yeah. Or how does someone even get into the field of that backstage, main stage stuff? I don't have the proper terminology, but no question is a stupid question. We've all been there. I mean, I've been on Twitch for 4 years now, but 4 years ago, I was what's OBS? What is this? Do I have to use this? I don't really understand this. So, we've all been there. Take advantage of this amazing resource. Mm-hmm. As I said, knowledge is the best thing to have. There's a reason why college is expensive.
So true.
So expensive. But I'll also add, our Broadcast Her initiative. There are kind of two big programs that fall under that. It's our Broadcast Her grant, which is purely a funding-based opportunity for things like your equipment, for things like a Dreamhack, etc. And then we have our Broadcast Her Academy, which really kind of full circles everything together. Yes. It's a fellowship essentially, and part of what is built into that beyond the funding is mentorship. You come and you are paired for sessions virtually but also in person, again, with people who have a career that you're interested in pursuing, or maybe just learning more about because you're figuring out exactly where you fit into that space.
Yes.
So there's a lot of different opportunities. We welcome both our mentors and our mentees, both within our broadcasting space, within our esports gaming space, but also outside of that, for anything that you might be interested in.
Very nice. And of course, to wrap things up, is there any last words or anything you want to let the audience know about the programs, or anything to be on the lookout for, additional with the documentary, but anything else that they can support and give some following and some numbers and make that algorithm shift that people can pay attention to those posts and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a couple things for you guys, so stay with me here. But
okay.
The first, our documentary, we are in the last phase of funding for that. We have a Kickstarter. You can find that on our website, but we are in the last $20,000 that we're trying to fund, so we're almost at the home stretch there. And again, would appreciate donations at any level. Outside of that, for our students or those who are wanting to receive funding, we have a newsletter that goes out every month that will give you the top line items for everything opening, happening, and available in that month's time. Currently, we have a program for our STEAM space, essentially, called the Polywall Club of 100 STEAM Scholars and Polywall Club of 100 Music Scholars that launches next week. So it is a program funding in women and femmes who are currently enrolled at a college, university, or graduate school, and need funding for the pursuit of their degrees, their dreams. And it's, again, we have one that is specifically for those pursuing dreams within music, and then one that is for those pursuing dreams within STEAM. So your science, tech, engineering, mathematics, and arts. I think I flopped those, but
Okay.
Additionally, we currently have a program open for those pursuing degrees in healthcare. So if you're wanting to be a nurse, or wanting to be a veterinarian, a doctor, whatever that might look like specifically for you, we have our Colgate Palmolive Scholars scholarship available right now. You can apply. It's open through like mid-November. And then we have another scholarship launching later in October that will be focused on those who are pursuing a variety of different careers, but just again, you are working to fund your educational dreams. So I say that to say we have a lot going on.
Yes.
We constantly have opportunities for students and for women and femmes looking to be funded, looking to be mentored, and following our newsletter is the best place to stay updated on that. And our website will help you kind of navigate what specifically is the best in the area that you're interested in pursuing.
Okay, very nice.
Anything else? Anything else? I didn't say enough.
I just want to say, like, I guess you're asking about advice, right? Don't be afraid to fail, right? And when I say fail, mess up, make an error, what have you. We are all human, and the best way that you grow is by trying and failing.
Yes.
No one has ever in their lifetime, and I can guarantee you this absolute, not failed. Like, everyone has messed up somehow. Like content creation, like when I started, I was an Among Us streamer. I now stream horror and Dead by Daylight. Like, that's wildly different audiences. And I'm not saying that was a failure, but I'm just saying, like, you grow, you change, and what have you. Esports, you don't get good just like by picking up a controller. You get good by getting good. No, you get good by trying and practicing. Like when I played COD, I didn't just magically be good at it. Like I played a bunch of hours, played a bunch of games, and eventually I was able to play really well. Like, don't be afraid to mess up. Otherwise, if you're like, I guess more on the streaming, esports, honestly, anything, network, but don't network to just network. Like when you network and you're just like, hi, I want to know you because I want your viewership, or I just want to use use you, essentially. People don't like that, right? Try to like network because you like their content and you would like to get to know them.
Yes.
And like, they're a person. Everyone is a person. Never treat them as just something to use in your career. Like that's where your network will start and end. So make sure you're being authentic. Be yourself, regardless. Again, this is the biggest thing I've had to learn in my professional. I work in business, and I almost would always kind of hide my real self for the longest time because I'm kooky and I'm weird. Like, I'm a streamer. I have to be a little cuckoo in the brain. And I've learned that the more I'm myself at work, the more that people actually want to engage and like not be my friend, but like work with me because I'm not closed off. So just be yourself, regardless if you're on stream or not. Your people will find you, and people will respect and also enjoy the fact that you're being authentic. I used to not dye my hair at work because I work in business, and I was really scared that would like not let me get promotions. It's really stupid, but that was something that I like went through. I don't have dyed hair right now because I'm letting my hair rest, but I used to have a split dye, I promise. But yeah, I guess those are my biggest things. Be authentic, network, but network to like truly know a person, and don't be afraid to fail.
Yes.
And then, of course, I thought of one more program I want to plug because I know you mentioned that a big part of your audience are kind of in like the tech space. We do have another scholarship grant opportunity launching also next week that is called our New Face of Tech in partnership with Harman. And it offers both that funding and mentorship piece that we've been speaking about throughout today. And so, again, keep an eye, but you can see literally all of our programs segmented by like who they're for on our website. And we hope to see many of your applications come in, and really appreciate you allowing us to speak about that today.
Awesome. Well, once again, we'd like to thank both of you for interviewing with us at the Moana Nui Podcast here at Dreamhack Atlanta. For those that are watching, make sure you go to their social media to 1,000 Dreams Fun. Find them on all social medias, follow them. And then also go to their website at 1000dreamsfun.org, and that way you can learn more about how to support, but also if you are a woman that is looking to get into streaming, content creation, gaming, production, medical field, any of those, that you can find all the opportunities that were just discussed today. So everyone, thank you for tuning in, and keep abreast of all our other interviews that we'll be doing this weekend at DreamHack. All right, thank you everyone, and have a great day. Bye everyone.
Bye.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will.
If this the land of the free, was a freedom then, when they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off. Called themselves a republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language was banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand, yeah.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No work out for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. We will.
So if you put Hawaii into perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course, versus Asia, they was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course, cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom. Clap back at the system.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No work out for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. We will.